Good evening, everybody. Today is Monday, July the 17th, 2023. It has been a few days now since Ripple has won partially the lawsuit against the SEC. So I'm really excited about that. And I wanted to make a video. Well, I'm kind of interested in making videos like this, but it's initially to kind of educate my family and friends as to what I have been involved with and what I've been following for so long, and kind of explain why everyone thinks I'm crazy. Um, so I apologize if anybody watching this has a lot of knowledge about XRP and Ripple, but the purpose of this video is going to be to kind of recap what the lawsuit was about, um, how Judge Torres came to her decision based on the Howey test, and what the next steps are, and how Ripple is tied into FedNow and the current situation globally that is being set up as a perfect storm to usher in this new financial system. Okay, so let's go on this journey together. Bear with me, I'm still in my amateur phase of video making, so bear with me. Here we go. So let me share my screen. So let's start off with what the SEC charged Ripple with. So I believe it's been over 2.5 years now since they have been in this battle, maybe even 3 now. I think between 2.5 and 3 years. And Ripple has spent over $200 million fighting this in court. Now, a lot of other companies, crypto companies, would not have that kind of capital to fight the SEC. And so the SEC, I don't think that they saw this coming. And it goes to show how important Ripple is actually. And I know some people that do follow Ripple. There are some theories that indicate that the United States government and the SEC in general and Gary Gensler are corrupt, and they are trying to stall. They have been trying to stall coming to an agreement with Ripple, and refuse to give clarity to Ripple and other companies as well, and exchanges, because they want to line their own pockets first. And there's also theories around, allowing the rest of the world to kind of develop and make sure, because the United States is the global reserve currency, and it is utilized as the petrodollar for trade. So in order to usher in a new financial system, they want to make sure that the whole world is going to be utilizing it and adopting it first before they start. And because if they did the other way around, perhaps the world would not adopt it. There's also another theory indicating that this is all a controlled demolition. I'll get into the debt crisis in the United States. It is happening globally as well. So there is a perfect storm being ushered in now for some sort of flip of the switch, black swan moment, perhaps, where a crisis will come in, and they'll have the problem reaction solution. So enough about that. Let's start with a recap as to what the SEC charged Ripple with. Okay, so in December 22nd, right around Christmas of 2020, the Security and Exchange Commission announced today that it has filed an action against Ripple Labs, Inc. and 2 of its executives, who are also significant security holders, alleging that they raised over $1.3 billion through an unregistered ongoing digital asset securities offering. So I'll just read the next paragraph and then we'll move on. So according to the SEC's complaint, Ripple, Christian Larson, the company's co-founder, executive chairman of its board and former CEO, and Brad Garlinghouse, the company's current CEO, raised capital to finance the company's business. The complaint alleges that Ripple raised funds beginning in 2013, which is an important date that kind of aligns with the beginning of FedNow, through the sale of digital assets known as XRP in an unregistered securities offering to investors in the US and worldwide. Ripple also allegedly distributed billions of XRP in exchange for non-cash consideration, such as labor and market-making services. According to the complaint, in addition to structuring and promoting the XRP sales used to finance the company's business, Larson and Garlinghouse also affected personal unregistered sales of XRP totaling approximately $600 million. The complaint alleges that the defendants failed to register their offers and sales of XRP or satisfy any exemption from registration in violation of the registration provisions of the federal securities law. Okay, so that's just a little recap as to what they had been charged with. So now let's move on to what exactly a security is. Some of you may know and some of you may not. So let's recap. So there are different types of securities. There are equities, like stocks of different companies. There's debt. They are fixed income instruments like bonds. And derivatives, a contract that derives value from how the underlying asset performs, and hybrids. So let's go a little bit more in depth into that, what those types of securities looks like. So we have equities. Equity shares are offered to the general public and have no redeeming features. It provides long-term finance for business. Ordinary shares, sometimes referred to as equity shares, provide each stockholder a portion of ownership of the company. Equity shareholders have the ability to vote, get a portion of the company's profits, and seize its assets. We have debt. An agreement known as a debt instrument permits one party to lend money to another party who agrees to return the loan principal and interest. Because the lender receives a defined rate of interest during the course of the instrument, debt instruments are also known as fixed income assets. So there's also derivatives. Derivatives are financial instruments known as derivatives. Financial instruments known as derivatives derive their value from one or more underlying securities or assets, like stocks, bonds, currencies, or indexes. And a hybrid, a security with characteristics of both hybrid and equity. So the SEC was claiming that Ripple selling XRP had violated the securities law because they had stated that XRP fall into one of these categories. Okay. So why is Bitcoin not deemed a security? Why is Bitcoin not being hassled by the SEC? We know ETH got a free pass with Hinman, and there's some shady stuff going on there with regards to ETHgate. So let's read this. In June 2018, the former chair of the SEC, Jay Clayton, clarified that Bitcoin is not a security. Cryptocurrencies, these are replacements for sovereign currencies. Replace the dollar, the euro, the yen with Bitcoin. That type of currency is not a security. So Bitcoin, which has never sought public funds to develop its technology, because no one knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, apparently. Now, the Department of Homeland Security met with the four Satoshis, so they know who it is. And there are theories, I think some of it has been legitimized, that certain agencies in the US government are behind Bitcoin. Okay. So that is why they never sought public funds to develop its technology. And it does not pass the Howey test because of that. However, like Clayton's definitions, tokens used in an ICO are securities. Okay. So here we have, I did pull up the actual court documents from the Ripple versus SEC case. Now, it is quite a long document that is 34 pages, but I just want to quickly go to page 15 here. And then I found a nice little visual that kind of summarizes what the outcomes of the court case was, so we don't have to read through this dry legal document here. So here on page 15, we have XRP as a digital token is not in of itself a contract, transaction, or scheme that embodies the Howey requirements of an investment contract. So the coin itself is not a security. Okay, so let's move on to this really nice depiction of what happened. Oh, wow, here we go. So what is the Howey test? So to be considered a security, a transaction must meet all 4 prongs of the Howey test. Okay, and what are the 4 prongs here? So we have an investment of money, a common enterprise with the expectation of profit and to be derived from the efforts of others. So those are the 4 prongs. According to the test, they have to meet all of these prongs. And what actually happened in the ruling, as you see here, they didn't meet this one, the institutional sales did not meet all 4 prongs, but it was still dinged to be the sales to the institutions were deemed to be contracts, investment contracts. So let's see here. Per the ruling, Ripple may not sell XRP directly to financial institutions. So this is what's going to be happening to the escrow, the XRP current escrow, XRP that is currently in escrow. Per the ruling, Ripple may not sell XRP directly to financial institutions in the United States via written agreements without violating securities law or asking for a waiver from the SEC. The escrow does not need to be burned. There are no issues distributing to financial institutions via contracts outside the US because the SEC does not have jurisdiction outside the US, obviously. So, they had put charges in to 4 different areas. So there's institutional sales, programmatic sales, other distributions, and they went after Larson and Garlinghouse as well. So let's see here. Institutional sales. So they claim that Ripple sold XRP directly to institutional buyers, hedge funds, and on-demand liquidity customers using written contracts. So the use of the proceedings, the fund operations, promoting and developing use cases for XRP. So that was what the funds were used for. So the analysis of the Howey test. With regards to the investment of money, the institutional buyers invested money by providing fiat or other currency in exchange for XRP. With regards to the common enterprise portion of this, horizontal commonality exists because Ripple pooled the proceeds of its institutional sales into a network or bank accounts under the names of its various subsidiaries. Reasonable expectations of profits from Ripple's efforts. Reasonable investors, like institutional buyers, would have purchased XRP with the expectation that they would earn profits from Ripple's efforts. So the holding here, with regards to the institutional sales, is that Ripple's institutional sales of XRP constituted the unregistered offer and sale of investment contracts in violation of Section 5 of the Securities Act. Okay, so this is the contract between Ripple and institutions is deemed the security, not the initial token. Okay, so it has to be an investment contract. Now, with regards to the programmatic sales, Ripple sold XRP on digital asset exchanges, so to me or to someone else, and programmatically via trading algorithms, which were blind bid-ask transactions, and Ripple did not know who the buyer was, and the purchaser did not know who the seller was. So the use of the proceeds went to fund operations, promoting and developing use cases for XRP. The analysis of the Howey test, so this did not pass the Howey test. So no reasonable expectations from Ripple's efforts. The undisputed record does not establish the 3rd Howey prong because programmatic buyers could not have known if their money went to Ripple or any other seller of XRP. Thus, programmatic buyers could not reasonably expect that Ripple would use the capital it received to improve the XRP ecosystem and increase the price of XRP. With regards to the holding, that also did not meet the Howey test. So the record establishes that Ripple did not make any promises or offers with respect to programmatic sales because Ripple did not know who was buying the XRP, and the purchasers did not know who was selling it. Therefore, there could be no reasonable expectation of profits based on Ripple's efforts. The programmatic sales of XRP did not constitute the offer and the sale of investment contracts. So, all right. Other distributions. Ripple distributed XRP as a form of payment for services, including as employee compensation and third-party developers of apps and new use cases for XRP and the XRP ledger. So this also did not meet the Howey test on two different prongs. So let's see here. Analysis of the Howey test. The other distributions do not satisfy first Howey prong, that there is an investment of money as part of the transaction or scheme. The record shows that recipients of XRP and the other distributions did not pay money or some tangible definable consideration to Ripple. Therefore, there was no investment of money that makes Ripple's other distributions constitute the offer and sale and investment contracts. Larson and Garlinghouse's sales were also not deemed to be in violation because their sales on various digital asset exchanges through blind bid-ask transactions, and therefore, as a matter of law, the record cannot establish the third Howey prong as to those transactions as well. So, what does this mean? It means right here on the top that XRP transactions through digital asset exchanges are not securities. So buying it off exchanges, as we saw with Coinbase and a lot of other exchanges, relisting XRP after a long time of not holding them and offering them, this is clearly seen. After all of this came out, we saw a big spike. The price almost doubled immediately after that happened. So this was XRP, and it was quite interesting to see as well that XLM also spiked. And I will be covering in a little bit why they're kind of paired together. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, let's keep going. So what's exciting now is that Ripple's next win. So what is the next for Ripple? So there's speculation rising for the potential for IPO following the SEC victory. I'm not going to read this through. It's just, here's a little recap for someone that posted. It's really cool. It's Ripple's victory check, exchanges relist XRP check, Ripple IPO across stock exchanges. So what is IPO? It means that you can, it's going public, so you can offer stocks of your company. I know that Link2 actually offers Ripple stock pre-IPO, but you need to be an accredited investor for that. And then so XRP is being used as a bridge currency for CBDCs. And then XRP is as US reserve currency. So that'd be interesting. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that might be interesting to see. Now, moving on, we have now, because of this, XRP is the only digital asset with legal clarity in all of the United States. Now the SEC wants to go after a lot of other coins and a lot of exchanges as well, saying that they are securities. But this opens up Ripple and XRP to be utilized to what it's supposed to be utilized for, which is cross-border payments. And they have been partnering with companies and banks and countries all around the world already. And, the SEC has kind of inhibited developments and progress with regards to the industry for quite some time because they haven't given clarity. So at least this is nice to see. And now we'll start to see adoption of XRP and the XRP ledger and on-demand liquidity being utilized finally in the United States. And this will probably lead to an increase in price. So, yeah, so what brought us here? So clearly there is a debt problem. The debt ceiling was raised in perpetuity. And now there is actually no limit. It was just put on hold, I guess, for a couple of years, and now there's actually nothing to rein in the spending. So they're just going to keep printing money more and more, and this is not sustainable. We're sending money to Ukraine, and the global reserve currency is potentially going to be dethroned. This could be like a controlled demolition. Like the elites maybe are all in this together. It seems like the States doesn't really want to hold on to its status. It's kind of letting it go on purpose, but that's another story for another time. So this is a really long thread. So I just wanted to use it as a bookmark to kind of talk about how the debt crisis is ushering in. You can't maintain fractional reserve banking, and you can't maintain printing fiat currencies that's backed by nothing but military might, right? And being the petrodollar, which it's perhaps not going to be for that much longer. Okay, so now we have Bank of America expected to partner with Ripple, which is exciting. So this article was from 4 days ago. In the wake of Ripple's recent legal triumph against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, industry experts and cryptocurrency enthusiasts are buzzing with anticipation over the potential partnership between Ripple and the Bank of America. With the regulatory cloud lifting, the collaboration could pave the way for significant advancements in the real realm of cross-border payments. Bank of America is one of the largest financial institutions in the United States and has been closely monitoring the outcome of Ripple SEC lawsuit. As the dust settles, industry insiders speculate that Bank of America may be inclined to join forces with Ripple to leverage its innovative blockchain technology and digital assets. A partnership between the Bank of America and Ripple could unlock a multitude of benefits for both parties. Ripple's robust blockchain-based payment solutions, particularly with RippleNet network, has garnered attention for their ability to enhance the speed, efficiency, and cost effectiveness of cross-border transactions. All right. So there is the liquidity that we need. And we don't need to read the whole thing, so let's move on to the next one. Now, Bank of Japan is going to be using XRP as well, and I believe the CEO. I have a little visual of this, but the CEO of one of the banks in Japan, the largest banks in Japan, has indicated that all of the banks in Japan will be utilizing XRP by 2025. So we need to start putting all of these puzzle pieces together to see what the big picture is going to be and how big of an adoption this is going to be. Okay. So in a significant development for the cryptocurrency world, the Bank of Japan has announced its decision to leverage Ripple's digital asset XRP to streamline cross-border payments. This groundbreaking move marks a major step towards the adoption of cryptocurrencies in the traditional financial sector. And this was from 4 days ago as well. Now, this also is coming now. The mainstream media is actually talking about Ripple now that they were successful with the SEC lawsuit. So Ripple says that U.S. banks will now want to use XRP cryptocurrency after partial victory in the SEC fight. This just talks about Stuart Alderody talking about it, so we don't really need to go into that a little bit more, but I have a whole list of all the banks that could be potentially utilizing XRP. Okay, Panos here on Twitter says a reminder that XRP is a decentralized and deflationary currency. Okay, so it is open source and it is deflationary, meaning that there is a limited amount available of XRP because every time it is utilized, some of it is burned. And so as time moves on, the price is probably going to go up because the amount available is decreasing. And in order to be able to send all this money of the world, all the money, XRP is going to need to be priced at a high price, because if you are transacting quadrillions of dollars a day, or millions of dollars per second, however much it is, you can either have one XRP worth a lot of money and send. So say if you want to send $1 million, it would be more practical and beneficial for you to have just, like, let's say, one XRP to send instead of 1 million if they're worth $1, right? So kind of like gold, that is why gold is more valuable as a commodity and as a store of value, because there's not that much. You can't just keep printing it, right? And that's what deflates the currency's value, is that you keep pumping more fake money into the system, and that's where inflation comes in, right? So, okay. So it's fast, it's low cost, it's scalable, and eco-friendly. No more than 100 billion XRP ever existed, and XRP Ledger is operating since 2012 with a robust technology that started DeFi innovation and many upcoming developments. Okay. As an optimal medium of exchange, XRP and the XRP Ledger on which it operates help to move money around the world faster and cheaper and more sustainable than any other currency available today. It was designed this way and is proving its impact in global payments and beyond. So this is about XRP Ledger here and its use cases. Now, I'm not going to read through everything, but we have it's powering so the XRPL ecosystem is powering infrastructure, developer tooling, wallets, so digital wallets. I'll touch back on that in a minute. NFTs, exchanges, gaming, security, payments, web monetization, sustainability, CBDCs. A private version of the XRP Ledger provides central banks a secure, controlled, and flexible solution to issue and manage central bank issued digital currencies. That's an important one. And custody and DeFi, okay? Decentralized finance. I think that's what it means, pretty sure. All right, so Bull Run Wonka here says that Ripple plus the US Department of Defense and the US Treasury Department is money, money, money. The first place the creators took XRP after creating it was to the US Treasury Department. These are 100% facts. HODL, the on-demand liquidity. Okay, so trusted by the world's leading central banks and financial institutions. We have Payments Canada. I'll get to that